My name's Joe Tucker. I am the Director and Head of Research for Property Principles Buyers Agency. I created one of Australia's largest property investment groups called Oz Property Investors, create the buyers agency to help small-time investors and even more experienced investors find investment-grade properties and investment-grade assets. Well, one of the big things is we go to all the locations that we research. So we spend, tens of thousands of dollars on property research to find the best location. And then we get boots on the ground to actually go research and identify those locations and see what is actually happening, because the data and what's happening on the ground might not say the same thing. So we confirm, we get the information, and then we confirm it by going to the place. That's the main difference. Well, the biggest thing is, I think I was the head of sales for a large company. And the biggest thing that I realized that a lot of small businesses, we used to work with small businesses all the time. And where I'd see them constantly fall over is they didn't have operations set up. They didn't correctly identify their operations. They would just get a lead in, stop marketing, stop everything else, and just try and sell that lead. And then they would sell the lead, and then they'd have to go back to marketing. But what you should be doing is having all of these systems running at the same time together. And the only way that you're going to be able to do that is by having help from an operations perspective, someone to help you with the email, someone to help you with client management, someone to help you with contract management in the property space, someone to help you identify potential opportunities for properties. And that's where a lot of people fall over, because they're doing every single thing by themselves. Do the thing yourself, put it into a system and a process, and then teach others that can do that stuff. And then you focus on the core areas of helping out your clients and finding awesome properties. So that's where I see a lot of people falling over. Oh yeah, well, when you've got so many clients and so many properties to find, it's a nightmare. Trying to be able to balance everything and all the paperwork and everything that's involved with it is just incredibly challenging. So that's why we wanted to build in the process. And yes, it takes a little bit of upfront effort and energy to build out the processes, but it's going to yield far better results, because now I've got time to do things like this, to review. It gives you time to be able to focus on some more important tasks, rather than just kind of chasing your tail as a small business and trying to find leads and do all of this other stuff when somebody else can help you out doing that. And it's super affordable. Like, you don't need to be spending tens of thousands of dollars to do this. If hiring this person can save me, can make me one sale in 6 months, I've made my money back. So I'm pretty sure they can help me do that. We did the Grow With Your Flow process, which is essentially just mapping out your entire business. And the most valuable thing for me is everything's in my head, and I just have the business structured out in my head. But now I've got it down into paper, and I can say, I'm going to focus on this pillar, and then my VA is going to focus on this, and then focus on this, and then focus on this. So some of the like the things that we learned the most out of this was actually having everything mapped out and being able to say, you know what, actually, we probably shouldn't be spending too much time here. This is easily outsourced, but in your mind, it's actually, you think it's a challenge. You think it's going to be really hard to outsource it, but it's pretty easy to. Well, actually, that's a good point. One of the challenges that I see with virtual assistants, because I've worked with a number of virtual assistants, right? I go into Upwork, I get someone on board, and then they, flutter away and they do their thing and whatever. But the awesome thing about TGH, the Growth Hub, is that they've got teaching and training built in. So they teach and train these virtual assistants to be able, they call them champions, to get up to speed. So they get them up to speed on RP data, they get them up to speed on Price Finder, they get them up to speed on Canva, on creating reports and structuring that kind of stuff. So they have a 2-week training and onboarding. And then during the months, as you have them, they also run a training session. The hardest part of having staff is onboarding them, but they do all the onboarding for you. And then you just need to onboard them for your particular business. So everyone's up to speed about what they need to do, where they need to go, and the processes that need to be involved in. Yeah. The biggest impact is time. Like, I don't have time to build out all of these reports and make everything look as professional as it should be when you're presenting a property to a client. So for me, it's all just about time. I can now go out there and find 5 more properties. I can then get additional clients on board because I'm not messing around with a report. But also when their friend recommends me, they can say, oh, can you send me the reports that they sent you? Boom, I've got this glamorous report built by someone that loves making them and is good at that. We need another one. We've got too much work. I can outsource almost everything except for the core fundamentals that need me. So the biggest win would be time, energy, and effort. I now don't have to worry. I just say, hey, we've got go through the system, right? They understand where the system is. They know what the next step is, and they just go through that process. To be honest, the biggest win is having everything mapped out. Because if you don't have that, it becomes incredibly difficult to try and onboard someone and for them to understand. And then what you do is you spend hours just talking to them at different points of different time to explain the process, and they're trying to piecemeal it together and trying to understand your systems, but it's all in your head. Get it all mapped out on a piece of paper. The team there are awesome. Ben, super operational focused and is all about automating and optimizing. They actually think about what are the programs and systems that you currently use, and then give you recommendations for other things as well, like Slack and Active Campaign, and how to get those to talk to each other and how to create automations and all of that good stuff. The biggest difference is they understand property a bit more than anybody else. They've had a big onboarding session that helps them through that. But I guess actually a good point is that I now know how to manage a VA and how to bring on a VA and how to scale myself. How can I scale the jobs that I am good at doing, and how are the admin tasks that I should be doing? But I can now just insert someone here. Great, I need another person, I need another champion to help me do that. And then plop, I know exactly what they're going to do, and I can know that it's going to be done. Yeah, it's going to be done right. Yeah, Patricia's fantastic. She's saving me time in creating these portfolio things. She's making them look super professional, and that just bumps up my brand. So it's going to be time. She saves me hours a day trying to do that, right? Like to make one, it takes 2 to 3 hours to be able to do that. And she'll knock it out, much faster than I could, and makes it look far better. So yeah, I've saved, I don't know, 3 hours a day times however many days I've had it, times a week, times a month, times a year. Like it's silly not to. She helps identify some properties as well. Helps through finding, you give the brief, and then she'll create a list of all the briefs that you need, all the properties that have the potential. And then you say, yep, not this one, not this one, not this one. Actually, this one is fantastic. And then they've got all the alerts set up, so they'll go straight through and you're able to get the assess and find golden properties. Yeah, I'd recommend the Growth Hub, because if you're trying to grow a business, you need operations. And most likely, if you are in the property space or a property buyer's agent or a property manager, you're probably very good at dealing with the clients, but you might not necessarily be very good at picking up the pieces and making sure all the cogs are turning. And operationally, you can map it out and insert people into that. And then you do what you do best, find good properties and bring clients in. Focus on those two things, because that's what you're good at, and let other people that are good at the paperwork and the admin, let them be good at what they're good at. So yeah, highly recommend the Growth Hub. Can't recommend them enough. It's the only way that you're going to relieve a lot of stress, energy. And it's not even about scaling a massive business. And you can do it with virtual assistants. Like other clients with the Growth Hub have done that. But just if you want a small business where you're only going to make 300 grand a year, 200 grand a year, or whatever it is, grab 1, 2, 3 champions to help you through that and go through those little admin tasks. It's just going to take all the rubbish off your plate, and you'll be able to do the stuff that you enjoy more. Once you get a bit of rhythm going, you can start to outsource a lot more responsibility So I've got a lot more confidence in just bringing on another champion to cover off this pillar of the business, and then bringing on another champion to cover off this pillar of the business. So super confident. Over the next 12 months, we're going to be bringing on a number of champions to help do certain parts within there, and just inserting them to help us grow and expand out to be able to, buy 100 properties a year and service our clients so they're completely comfortable. And these guys are trained professionals. They know what they're doing. They've done customer service before. They've done emails before. They've done RP data reports before. So they're all ready to go. Yeah.